Welcome back to Clean Tech Talk. Today we're diving deep into something pretty fascinating, actually. Dry ice blasting. Imagine trying to clean, say, really delicate circuitry, covered in gunk, without breaking anything. Or maybe a huge industrial machine that just can't be offline for a wet wash. That's kind of where this tech comes in. So our mission today, let's unpack how this cutting-edge, eco-friendly method actually works, its maybe surprising advantages, and why it's really starting to shake things up in various industries.
Exactly. And it's really about harnessing the, unique properties of solid CO2, carbon dioxide, but in solid form. It cleans with incredible precision, but also efficiency. Think about a food processing plant maybe cutting its water use massively, maybe 85%, and getting rid of chemical waste altogether. That's the kind of shift we're talking about. It's more than just cleaning. It's almost like re-engineering industrial hygiene.
Okay, but the word blasting still sounds, well, pretty intense. How does dry ice manage that effectiveness without being abrasive? That feels a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does sound like that, but it's actually quite ingenious. The core idea is that it isn't abrasive. See, unlike sand or other media, these dry ice pellets, they're much softer, so they're incredibly safe for sensitive electronics, circuit boards, even complex plastic molds. It cleans without damaging the surface, keeps the original shape.
Okay, so softer pellets. But how does the cleaning happen then?
Well, what's really clever is the sublimation process. When these super cold pellets think minus 78.5 Celsius hit a warmer surface, they don't melt like water ice. They instantly turn from a solid straight into a gas. Poof. This rapid expansion creates like a tiny micro explosion right at the surface. It lifts the contaminants off using thermal shock and kinetic energy, not by scrubbing or grinding. And crucially, because it turns into gas, there's zero secondary waste, no residue, nothing left behind.
Wow, okay, so it just vanishes. That's pretty neat. And you mentioned environmental benefits earlier. How does using CO2, something we're usually trying to reduce, fit with sustainability?
That's a really important question. And here's the key point, environmentally speaking. The CO2 used for the dry ice, it's reclaimed. This isn't new CO2 being made, it's carbon dioxide that's already been captured as a byproduct from other industrial processes, think ethanol plants, fertilizer production, things like that. So essentially, we're recycling CO2 that's already out there. It closes the loop, prevents extra greenhouse gas emissions. It's a great example of industrial symbiosis, really, turning a waste stream into something useful. Plus, the CO2 itself is non-toxic. It's food grade even, which is obviously vital for food and beverage industries.
Right, that makes a huge difference. It's recycled, not new. Okay, so beyond the science, what about the practical side? Are there unexpected wins companies find? Maybe places where old cleaning methods just don't cut it. And I guess, are there downsides, like initial costs?
Definitely practical wins because it's totally dry. You skip all the problems with water rust, corrosion, electrical shorts, none of that. It's non-conductive, so you can safely clean electrical components even while they're operating sometimes without risk. Big advantage there. It also means you can clean things more often in place without taking machinery apart. Imagine the downtime saved. We often see cleaning times cut by, say, 50% or even more. Huge productivity boost. I actually saw this one time, an old machine, decades old, just caked in grease. Dry ice blasting made it look almost new in hours. It was honestly pretty stunning.
So less downtime, no water damage.
Exactly. As for limitations, well, the equipment isn't free. There's an upfront cost, that's true. But the return on investment is usually very fast. You save on labor, waste disposal is basically eliminated for the cleaning agent, and equipment lasts longer. It often pays for itself surprisingly quickly. It's maybe not the best for really porous stuff where dirt is soaked deep inside, but that's pretty specific.
Right, connecting this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You can see why it's popping up everywhere. These aren't small improvements. We're hearing about companies getting their investment back in months because labor costs drop, they're not paying for hazardous waste removal, and their machines just last longer, sometimes significantly longer.
Absolutely. This versatility is changing whole sectors. In automotive, it's great for detailing removes grime without damaging paint or sensitive sensors. For heavy industry, it keeps massive machines running efficiently. And like we mentioned, food and beverage rely on it for hygiene without leaving any chemical traces. That non-toxic aspect is critical. And its safety on delicate things, from electronics to intricate molds, just protects expensive equipment and makes it last.
So wrapping this up, what's the key takeaway for you, our listener? Dry ice blasting is really pushing the boundaries in cleaning. It's powerful, but not abrasive. It's sustainable because it uses recycled CO2, and it's incredibly efficient. A truly versatile, eco-friendly solution.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how thinking outside the box, like Finding ways to repurpose industrial byproducts in this case, reclaimed CO2, can lead to these really effective, genuinely sustainable solutions in unexpected places. It really challenges the old ways of doing things, often for the better.
And as a special thank you to our listeners, you can now enjoy 10% off your next purchase at Aolith. Just use the promo code AOLITH2025 at checkout. That's AIOLLITH 2025. Don't miss out.